So the points which I have written in the top of your screen, that is equal and parallel, this 2 point is similar in a rectangle also, in a square also, and in a parallelogram also. But what is the difference between these three shapes are that all the angles of rectangle are 90 degree, and also the all angles of a square is also 90 degree, but the sides of a squares are equal, which is not similar to rectangle, because the sides of rectangle are only opposite sides of rectangle are equal, but in square all the sides are equal. In a rectangle each and every angle measure 90 degree, but and in square also each and every angle measure 90 degree. But in parallelogram, this is the difference between parallelogram and rectangle, and parallelogram and square, that the angles of parallelogram do not measure 90 degree. Okay, the angles of parallelogram are not right angled. Okay, only the opposite sides are equal and parallel. So can you now you know about parallelogram, that what is parallelogram?
Yes, ma'am, but I have said
yes,
on that time you have, ma'am, on that time what you have said, that a rectangle is a parallelogram,
yes,
and parallelogram is not rectangle.
yes. Is that point clear to you, or may I explain it again?
No, ma'am, I want to just listen this thing only.
Okay, so I will repeat it again, that a rectangle and a square, both the figures are a parallelogram, but a parallelogram cannot be a rectangle or a square, but a rectangle and a square is a parallelogram. It is always a parallelogram. Why? Because in a rectangle and in a square the opposite sides are parallel to each other. Okay, because the opposite sides of rectangle and square, in both rectangle and square, we have studied in the previous chapter, the opposite sides of rectangle are parallel to each other, and also about square we have learned that the opposite sides of a square are also parallel to each other, Hana. So every figure having 4 sides, if its opposite sides are parallel, then it is said parallelogram. So rectangle is also a parallelogram, square is also a parallelogram, and this shape cannot be, a rectangle एंड अ स्क्वायर. पैरेललोग्राम कभी भी रेक्टेंगल और या स्क्वायर नहीं हो सकता, क्योंकि उसकी जो एंगल्स होती है वो 90 डिग्री की कभी नहीं होती. ठीक है, लेकिन एक रेक्टेंगल या फिर एक स्क्वायर या फिर कोई भी ऐसी शेप जो 4 साइड से बनी हो और जिसकी एंगल्स, जिसके अपोजिट साइड पैरेलल हों, उसे हम पैरेललोग्राम बोल सकते हैं. इज दैट क्लियर टू यू?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now we were explaining or having explanation about tangrams, na. So you can identify this is the shape of rectangle, but it is made by various other shapes, that is triangle, square, and a parallelogram. So tangram is just a puzzle. Okay, you can say it is a shape puzzle, and it is very interesting. I think you too have